What's up everybody, it's Jake back in the BarBend garage gym, and for today's video, we're gonna be talking about Future. Future is one of the hottest online workout programs out there. So of course I had no choice but to put myself through a month training session for you guys. And in this video today, we're gonna talk about my full experience, from the good, the bad, to everything else in between, and whether or not this is the future of fitness. But before I do all that, I just want to make sure you guys know that we have spent time reviewing other fitness apps. And guess what? We have a best list of all of our top choices. So if you want to check that out, all you got to do is search BarBend Best Fitness Apps, and it's going to pull right up for you. So for those who don't know, Future is an online fitness app, and what you do is you sign up for it, pick a trainer, and they program your workouts for you. But to get that started, head over to the website and you complete a quick assessment. It takes around 3 to 5 minutes, roughly around that time frame. And what this consists of is you listing your workout experience, any injuries you may have had in the past, and kind of what goals you're looking to accomplish throughout your time with Future. After you complete that, I was presented 3 different coaches. Each coach has their own bio, so you can learn about their history and fitness and basically everything like that, even some personal stuff too, like what they're into and everything like that. So if you don't like the 3 that are presented though, you can continue to browse. I picked Antoine. Antoine has a background in football, Stanford and Georgia Tech, and that's my guy, I'm rolling with him. And, Antoine's workouts were different than what I'm accustomed to. I'm one of those people who, works out, gives myself 3 to 5 minutes between my sets, really get my breath and everything, back under control before I move on. Well, with Antoine's training, programming, whatever you want to call it, was a lot of high intensity, high rep, and low rest periods. At first, I was like, man, what am I doing? But over time, honestly, I learned to really enjoy it. That first day, though, I'm not gonna lie, he had me in here doing burpees by myself, and I kind of felt like a madman, but it is what it is. I burned a lot of calories during those workouts, which is something that a lot of people are looking for, and so I personally liked that. Just the switch up in general was really nice. Now, cool thing here with Future is that you're not required to have any equipment at all to complete these workouts. Now, of course you can. There's an option when you're doing that assessment talking about what equipment you have access to. So barbells, dumbbells, kettlebell, any type of machines, cables, all that kind of stuff, but it's not a necessity. That's a great thing. A lot of other programs, apps out there, you're kind of tied to having that equipment or no equipment. So there's not really much of an in-between from other people. So another cool thing was I went out of town for a full week. I drove, so I was able to bring an adjustable kettlebell with me, but that was it. So I told Antoine beforehand, hey, I'm leaving, and he programmed my entire week's workouts based solely around my 20 to 40 pound adjustable kettlebell. So that was honestly one of the coolest things about that. There's a lot of personalization here as well. So there's not really any copy and paste feeling with Future, at least for me, in my experience. All the workouts are tailored to me specifically. They change over time. You're getting that progressive overload and everything like that. But the accountability aspect is huge as well. Look, we all struggle with accountability from time to time. And having that extra accountability of watching your workouts on your phone, or if you have an Apple Watch, I've meant to mention, you can follow everything on your watch, which is pretty cool too. So you don't have to have your phone out and everything. But having that extra accountability of clock ticking down, or you have to hit X amount of reps or anything like that. And then of course your coach in general keeping tabs on everything, asking you if you missed a workout, providing that extra motivation in general is really nice. At the beginning of each workout, they're gonna have a personalized message for you. Just for example, like, come on Jake, back in the lab, gonna hit the ground running today, and they kind of briefly explain what you're doing, which is pretty cool. Also, whenever you kick off your workouts, you start with a dynamic warm-up, and then at the end of your workouts, you end with static stretching. Now, I stretch, but I don't always do my mobility routines, and that's something that I've wanted to do, but it's one of those things where you just kind of get in the gym and you're just like, whatever, I don't need to warm up. I'm just gonna go ahead and start benching, right? That's not the best thing to do. You could definitely get hurt that way. So being forced to do that was great for me. Something probably one of my favorite things about my whole experience. Just having that little wrinkle in my training that I don't typically do. Another thing here is that at the top, I use my phone. At the top of my phone when I was doing my workouts, it shows you the duration of the entire workout, but then it also shows how long you've been working out. Over time, it'll transition to how long you've been working out and then how much time is left during your workout, which is really nice. You get that light at the end of the tunnel, right? Whenever you're in those grueling days, because there were a lot of tough workouts where I was sitting here like, oh my gosh, I'm really ready for this to be done because I was honestly getting my butt kicked. But thing is, at the end of those workouts, you have the option to rate the workout basically from bad to excellent, right? And this allows your trainer to get a good sense of how you're enjoying the programming and if it was too easy, too difficult, whatever, and they can adjust accordingly. And there's also a little section for you to leave comments and feedback and anything like that too. And another thing I really like is that there's really no manual logging of your data. So you don't have to track your reps on your own or your weight lifted or anything like that. It's built in for you. But if you want to increase your weight as you're working out, maybe you're in the middle of a workout and there's 3 sets of whatever X exercise, right? And it's all the same. Well, you can go in and manually increase or decrease the weight according to however you're feeling about it and everything like that. And that also gives your coach a good sense of how to program your next workout. And then, if you're not able to hit a certain amount of reps or anything like that, then you obviously can manually log that as well. But other than that, everything else is handled for you, so it just makes it really easy to get in and out of your workouts. Okay, now nothing is perfect in this world, so there's a couple cons I want to bring up. First one, it's the money, right? This is an expensive service. You're spending anywhere, I'll detail it more in a second, but you're spending anywhere from 150 to 200 bucks a month. So definitely be prepared for that. While I'd personally think, the benefit makes it worth the money, still, a chunk of change, especially if you are still paying for a commercial gym membership and anything like that. Another thing here is that I talked about the Apple Watch situation. To get the best experience with Future, you kind of need to have an Apple Watch because the Future app syncs with the Apple Health app. And what happens is during those workouts, let's say something was extremely difficult for you. Well, your coach gets to see all of your metrics and can notice when something was super difficult or maybe it was too easy, and they can kind of adjust your workout accordingly. Now, I have a Fitbit, and I was able to download an app that syncs my stats from my Fitbit to the Apple Health app, but I don't really think everything correlated and translated, whatever you want to call it, transferred to the Future app in the same way. So I don't really know if it was helpful. So that's kind of another thing, because Apple Watches are kind of expensive. I don't think there's any denying that whatsoever. And while this really is a personalized program, a lot of people may not be too crazy about the online aspect of it, right? A lot of people prefer, whatever you want to call it, those in-person sessions with a personal trainer. And I get it, especially when it comes down to your form, right? So this isn't really a con against the app or anything like that, but your coach can't see your form at all times unless you specifically record yourself and send it in. And they'll get back to you really quick. I was able to talk to Antoine every single day if I wanted to. We could FaceTime through the app, anything like that. He was very accessible to me, and I'm sure that's gonna be the case with all the other trainers as well. But still, they're not right there with you, in front of you, and able to really correct your form on the spot, on the fly, whatever you wanna call it. So that's something that, Future can't mimic, but I wouldn't necessarily put it against the service itself. So by default, Future is gonna basically lock you into a month-to-month plan, which is $200 a month. It's kind of a chunk of change, so there are a couple options that will essentially save you money in the long run. The first one being, an annual membership. So you're gonna get billed around 1,800 bucks, whatever, right in the beginning, but this comes out to being around 150 bucks a month. The 3-month option, that's gonna be 540, roughly 537. About 180 bucks a month, and that 6-month option, a little over $1,000 or $170 a month. Now, yeah, that's all still a lot of money, and the language kind of gets confusing with the 3-month, 6-month, and annual membership because you're not having that money pulled out every month. It's you're locked in and you're paying that money up front for your membership. Now, yeah, regardless, this is a lot of money, but honestly, I think it's worth it. Another one that's kind of cool is Caliber. Caliber is also about $200 a month, kind of the same vibe, personalized programming and everything. But another cool thing that they have is you have access to a catalog of over 500 exercises, and it's ad-free and everything, like actually free in general, and you can kind of just follow along with everything. But there's no personalization with that. You can also opt for something like iFit, which is $40 a month, which iFit's fine, it's good, but there's no personalization aspect whatsoever. So when it comes to that personalization and specific programming for your lifestyle and everything, Future just kind of does it better than anybody, in my opinion. So if you have the money for it, have the budget for it, and you can make time for it every single week, then Future is absolutely worth every single penny. So I already touched on a couple things here, but I want to expand on the features within the app, because there's kind of a lot, and if you don't know what you're doing, it can be a little bit overwhelming at first. So really, one of the biggest things I want to talk about is your manual logging of your stats. So obviously I talked about adjusting the weight. If something's too heavy or not heavy enough, you can go in and manually adjust that to whatever you are wanting to lift, and it'll kind of go ahead and adjust it for your next set as well, which is kind of cool. Same thing with reps. If you're not able to do enough, you can, for pull-ups, for example. If you can't hit 10 pull-ups, you kind of input you only did 7, and then your coach is gonna be prepared for that in the long run and not think you're just being lazy or anything like that. You can also backtrack within the app. So there are some times where you may not know exactly what a certain exercise is. A Cossack squat, for example. Not every single person is familiar with that, and whenever you get to that portion within your dynamic warm-up, you kind of need to watch and see what the person demonstrating is doing it. I kind of forgot to talk about this earlier. Every single exercise has a person performing it in video format. So you're able to really get a picture perfect example of what you need to be doing and mimic that the best that you can. But if you're spending too much time watching it and not actually doing it, you can always go back and restart that section, which is a pretty cool thing. Another cool thing is that every single Monday, your coach is gonna send off your training for the week and basically tell you what days, your target days of working out. But life happens, things get in the way. There's a certain day, let's say Wednesday is a day you need to be in the gym. Let's say something comes up and you're not able to spend that hour doing that. Well, you can go in and manually adjust the frequency, the actual days you're gonna be working out, which is honestly a great thing. That way you're not missing any of your workouts. But if you do miss your workout, that's where that extra motivation comes into play, and they're gonna just inquire. They're not gonna get onto you or anything like that, but just gonna be like, hey, what happened? I saw you missed your workout. You kind of talk it over, and then you can always go back and move it into a later day, and that way you're actually able to hit that specific workout. The communication aspect is really cool too. I really enjoyed being able to just talk to Antoine at any moment's notice. It was really nice. Talk to each other almost every single day. He'd send me messages and say, back in the lab, let's get back after it today, anything like that. Just kind of helps you have that motivation and just be a little, more excited to get into the gym and get back to it. At the end of each workout, I talked about how you can rate the workout and leave comments, anything like that, which is really cool. It allows your trainer to see that you're being pushed and then also adjust the workouts accordingly. But whenever you're done, it sends your stats over immediately in your messages tab, if that's what you want to call it, within the app. And that's cool. It tracks your overall workouts you've completed, gives you badges for the workouts you've completed, calories you've burned, and everything like that. But this is also great for your coach because, once again, it allows them to see your progress and just overall more motivation and encourage nutrition and recovery and things of that nature. And remember, all the workouts are timed. So before you start your workout, it'll tell you this is a 55-minute workout. And whenever you start it, it'll have 5500. And then once you click play, that number will start to decrease, and there's a number underneath it, a timer, and that'll increase and show you how much time you have been working out. So that's kind of cool, honestly. And you can always pause it if you need to give yourself more of a breather, check out what you're doing next. That's another thing too. So you have everything kind of split up. You have your dynamic warm-up, you have one round, you have like 4 rounds of a specific 3 movements, and then there's another section, and then you have your cool down, static stretching, and things like that. So cool thing is you can go and look at the workout overview. You can go ahead and look ahead And in here in the garage, I was able to set up my barbell, go ahead and pull out a kettlebell, maybe some dumbbells, adjust the weight bench to the angle it needs to be at, and everything like that. So that's pretty cool. But like I said, you can pause it, do all that. Maybe if you just need a longer rest period, you definitely can do that too. I tried to avoid doing that, taking longer breaks as much as possible just to get that full authentic experience that Antoine was programming for me. So a specific example of the timing of the workouts was I had to do 8 reps of barbell lunges, reverse barbell lunges. And then once you're done performing a set of reps, you click the next arrow. If it's a timed portion, it goes to the next thing for you. But anything with reps, you gotta click the arrow, it goes to the next thing. So after I finished those 8 reps, it gave me 5 seconds. I had to do 8 reps on the other leg, click that arrow again. Gave me 10 seconds, which was just enough time to walk over and grab my kettlebell, rep out 10 kettlebell swings, arrow button again, 10 seconds, and then 40 seconds of an isometric pull-up. Once I completed that, then I had 60 seconds of rest. And then I had 3 more rounds of that. So that's the case with all of them, whether you're doing, incline press with dumbbells, maybe rows, more pull-ups, push-ups, medicine ball push-ups. There's a whole lot of stuff going on right there. Anything like that, you're gonna expect at least 2 rounds, depending on how difficult it is. Most of the time though, it was 3 to 4 rounds. And a lot of them can get pretty difficult. Another one, I had to do front squats, 6 reps, and walk over and do a 3-way matrix lunge, which was a rep out to the side, reverse lunge, forward lunge, and that's 1. I had to do 5 each leg. So like I said, it can be a whole lot, but it's really nice that everything is broken down that easily for you. Now, I personally think that Future is a great fit for everybody. I mean, advanced level lifters can branch out into more advanced lifting styles, while beginners can set a proper foundation and learn proper technique and everything like that. Plus, the programming is completely out of your hands. You don't have to worry about, oh, what am I gonna do today? Or let me get a log book and write everything down. It's all taken care of for you. That's the ease of use is one of the best things here. And then the motivation itself. Like I said, we all struggle when it comes to motivation and going into the gym, making that effort. And when you have an app, that has everything laid out for you and tells you when you need to go to the gym, sure, you can adjust it, but you still gotta hit those 4 workouts a week. And then you have a coach who's pushing you and checking in on you and everything like that. It's honestly, it's great for anybody who needs that. And honestly, I think we all need that. When it comes to those who shouldn't though, I mean, honestly, it's really just the money, in my opinion. It's expensive, like I mentioned, a couple times now. If you do have the budget for it, I definitely think it's worth it, but it's still 150 to 200 bucks a month, basically, right? And another thing is that online stuff may not be for everybody. If you're old school about it, you wanna walk into your gym, shake your personal trainer's hand and everything like that, I get that too. All right, well, that's a wrap on today's review over Future. I led off this video asking, is Future the future of fitness? And I personally think that it is. Online programming is not new by any means, but I personally think that Future does it better than the rest of the competition. It's hyper personalized, and everything is done really well within the app, from tracking your reps and sets to communicating with your coach, having your program taken care of for you. Everything like that. It's really easy to navigate the app as a whole. Another thing is that it's, you can evolve within the app as well with your training. You tell your coach, hey, I really want to get good at Olympic weightlifting. Well, guess what? They're going to program Olympic weightlifting. If you never want to do burpees again, they're not going to make you do burpees. If you don't want to do pull-ups, probably not going to make you do pull-ups either. Really, it's whatever you do and don't want to do, they're going to customize it for you specifically. I personally had a great time with my training experience within the app. I was forced to broaden my horizons with my training, and at first I didn't think I was gonna be that, fond of it, to be honest, but it really grew on me, and it's something that I think everybody would enjoy from using and also benefit from as well. That's all I got for y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope I was really able to hammer home the main points here. As always, stay tuned for my next video, but for now, head over to BarBend.com because we have a written review about this app that I definitely think you should go and check out. All you gotta do is search BarBend Future App Review and it's gonna pull right up for you. I'll catch y'all next time.